I will throw it back to my colleague Thomas Porteous, who is again, of course, joining us from the newsroom. Thomas, we're seeing visuals playing out on the screen here. Trains shaking, cars shaking. We've also heard that buildings have collapsed and also bridges. How much of an impact could these damaged buildings have in any rescue efforts?
Absolutely huge. There are certain media reports of officials coming in, specifically from Myanmar, that are fearing hundreds of people to have died in this accident. Obviously, debris, damage of roads are going to hugely hinder rescue efforts to get to people in rubble, especially as you've previously said that Myanmar is a underdeveloped country, and so economically they do not have the best equipment to deal with these this kind of scale of earthquake. As you said previously as well, 90 people, but some reports are saying 90, some are saying 70 in Bangkok, Thailand, after this construction building collapsed. As it is, it's only a matter of time for these rescue missions to start ongoing until we start getting some of these numbers. But as I previously said, Joshua, all this rubble, all this damage is seriously going to hinder these guys' efforts to try and get people the help that they really need.
Thomas, we are now joined by Raju Manvani, VP, joining us from Thailand. Raju, can you please talk us through what you have experienced in the last few hours?
Hi. This started at around 1:22 local time, and it's an experience that I have never ever felt in my life before. When the first shock came, I thought it was an earthquake, but I did not imagine the severity that it would go to. So for a minute, I collected my family and we took safe positions in the house. But the second shock that came in just about a minute or 2 minutes later was so severe that my chandeliers, one that you can see behind me, was swaying almost 180 degrees. My drawers, my cupboard drawers were all flung open. Photo frames were falling all over. We waited until the major shock subsided and we took the stairs down. I stay on a very high floor, so the swaying was much stronger at this level than it would be at a lower level. Now, as you must have heard, there was a building crash, and I think it was an under construction building at near the weekend market in Bangkok, which collapsed. Very unfortunate. I do not have news yet about the casualty rates over there. The local situation is such that all the public railway transport systems have been shut. The underground railway was shut. The above ground BTS, MRT, both were shut down. The electric expressways were also shut down, and which actually led to a lot of traffic jams all over. I mean, it's a dreadful thing. People have to walk for kilometers to go home. If they're lucky, they're in taxis. If they're driving their own cars, it's pretty unfortunate. Otherwise, the Thai citizens are very resilient, very helpful, and that you could see when you were walking around the roads and standing outside your buildings in open areas. People brought water and food to distribute to everybody. So
yes,
that brings the good side of everybody out here. But again, I pray for the people who have could have possibly lost lives and damage to their properties. I sincerely pray for them all over Thailand, Burma, and this entire region.
Yes, Raju, what was the emotion going through your head at that moment when you were with your family and you were unsure how devastating this quake would be? Can you just give us an insight, please, into that process and how you dealt with those following moments and then the aftershock as well, as you've already said?
It was scary. I would say, I will not deny that. I mean, I'm not a person who's easily scared, but when something which is beyond your control really shakes you up and literally shakes you up, there's not much you can do. But I pride myself on having a calm mind and had a family who was depending upon me. So we took the stairs down, and once we were down, there were about 200 denizens or so from my own building who were standing down there. And we took control over there. We managed to keep them informed. We were in touch with the local authorities over here about possibilities of aftershock. The Prime Minister announced from Phuket, where she is traveling now, that there are likely to be aftershocks up to 24 hours. And as of 4:30, which is about 90 minutes before today, before this time at the moment, there were a total of one major shock and 10 aftershocks. So the aftershock started diminishing in intensity from the peak of 7.7 to went down to 3.7 as per the Thai news. And then 4:30, which is about 90 minutes before now, it peaked, it again went up to 4.5. Now, after that, basically all these aftershocks are not being felt as much by us here. So at the moment, I would say we are pretty calm. We had a few 85, 90, even some people over 90-year-olds, over 90 years of age, who had to rush down. Some had to be carried, and some took the chance of taking the elevator. But luckily, we all reached down safe. And now I think I was among the last people to come back home. I've just come back home a few minutes ago, but I think everybody is back in their homes at the moment and safe and sound, at least in my building. And like I said earlier, I pray for all those who are facing difficulties at this time. And like I said, the Thai society is very strong, very community-based, and there'll be a lot of help going out, and nobody will be left stranded or alone.
Yes, Raju, we are glad to hear that you and your family are safe. For those of you who are just